Call halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash. Let me put the phone on silent. Call halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. Shalom and salutation to you brothers out here pushing the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom to all the elect out here, four corners of the earth, of the globe, all the hopeful elect. Shalom. I'm gonna go to just the seven seals or the seven trumpets. Now, basically, when you go into Revelation biblical prophecy, it talks about seven seals, seven trumpets, and seven vials. And I'm just going to, stick on this seventh one. All right, that's going to be pretty much what goes on in the seventh at the time of the seventh trump. All right, so you begin to read about the seventh trump at Revelations 10 and where am I at? Revelations 10 and 7. It says, but in the days of the voice of the seventh angel. So each angel is sounding a trump, right? A trumpet. It says in the voice, Slakia. Where am I at again? But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of Yahweh should be finished. The mystery is going to be finished at that time. What's the mystery? When you go into Merriam-Webster and you look at the obsolete or the ancient definition of mystery, it means a private secret. So we're talking about the reason why everybody can't come out with their breakdowns of the true breakdowns of Revelations, and it's because it's still a private secret. It's such a private secret that the majority of people, when they hear this, they don't even embrace it, man. They think it's all lies. For example, they did the same thing with Moses. When you go to Hebrews 11 and where we at? 7, it says, by faith Noah, being warned of Yahweh of things not seen as yet. So the things that he was being warned of was a mystery in the sense that it was a private secret. The Lord was telling Noah that I'm going to rain, cause the clouds or the heavens to pour down and open up, and water will fall from now on. And the people didn't understand, even while Moses was telling them that this was going to happen, the Lord's going to cause a flood. The people not only didn't understand, but they rebuked it. They laughed in the scorn, whatnot. Well, we in the time of heavy judgments. These vows, seven vows, these seven trumpets, which many are already, some is already sounded. All right, these, or in the midst of being sounded, these seven seals that you read about in Revelations is all going to eventually come to pass, just as in the days of Noah. Once again, Hebrews 11 and 7, by faith, Noah being warned of Yahweh of things not seen as yet. So nobody saw what had occurred before the time that Noah started, while he was prophesying. He said, move with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. So Noah had to believe ahead of time. And that's why it's a mystery. When you go back to Revelations 10, verse 7, but in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of Yahweh, which is that private secret. Another definition of mystery is a religious truth that one can know only by revelation and cannot fully understand. A secret religious rite. All right. Profound, inexplicable, secretive quality. This is mystery. The secret peculiar to a body of people. The secret peculiar to a body of people. This mystery is only for the Israelites to understand. So we're talking about the seventh trump. All right. And it says, once again, the mystery of Yahweh should be finished, as he had declared to his servants, the prophets. When you go down to when you go to chapter 11, Revelations 11, and you start at 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the Salaki. Revelations 11 and 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his anointed, Hamashiach. It says, and shall reign forever and ever. So after that seventh trump, Yahweh's reign begins eternally. That is the last trump. It's the seventh. Notice that there's seven seals, seven vials, and seven trumpets. 777. That's completion all the way around. So once everything is complete, that's when Yahweh rules. It says, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 40 and the 420 elders which sat before Yahweh on their seats fell upon their faces and worshiped Yahweh, saying, we give thee thanks, O Lord, power almighty, which art and was and ought to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets. The reward is also a part of the mystery. The mystery is a secretive thing that not everybody knows, and specifically it's only for a body of people. This is per Merriam-Webster definition. The body of people that understand this secret are the elect of the nation of Israel, the ones that sealed according to Revelations 7. And it says, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy names, that's the elect, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. And the temple of Yahweh was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament, and there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and earthquakes and a great hail. So we're talking about right before, right during the time when we get our reward after that seventh trump is sounded. We get our reward. Yahweh takes over control of the kingdoms of the world, and he becomes the King of Kings. And there's going to be a great judgment for the people. All right. There's also going to be lightnings, voices, thunderings, earthquakes, and great hail by way of World War III, because verse 14 says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. This is right around the second trump. We're here. World War I and II had already passed. We're waiting for World War III to come to pass. And so we know we are right there. When you read verse 12, 11, it says, and after 3.5 days, and after 3 days and a half, which is 350 years, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. When you read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, you read about the valley of dry bones, and that those represent the Israelites who are in a dead spiritual state. And so their spiritual state is going to be live, and then dead bones is going to walk again, and them dry bones are going to come back to life by way of this word being prophesied unto them. They're going to hear the word and be healed. And so this is that time where all of the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and the American, the children of Israel, are going to start to rise up again after being dead for all of these years. From 1620 to 1970, the Judites here in America, the Levites, the Northern Kingdom, so-called Seminole Indians, Gadites, Reubenites, Naphtali, all the way down, the Israelites had no knowledge of who we were. We lost that knowledge during the time of slavery, and while the nations was ruling over us. And so we're starting to get that back. This is all prophecy that's being revealed and fulfilled as we speak. It says, and great fear fell upon them that saw them. So once they seeing us rise back up as a people, they're in fear. And that's why we understand in verse Revelation 12:12 that they feel like their time is short. They got to make their move because biblical prophecy is coming to pass. The last thing they wanted to happen was biblical prophecy to come to pass, because that means that they're going to be out of power very soon. And they are Edomites, the Edomites who are going to be ruling right before Jacob comes into power, the Israelites. You go to Isaiah 14 and 12, it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Lucifer meaning light bearer. The light bearers on the left-hand side are the children of Edom, the third part of man, ruling the world as we speak. Rothschild, Rockefellers, those are the elites, but the nation as a whole is ruling. It says, son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? That's their lineage. The people that weaken the nations, that's people that destroyed the earth, the people that drop bombs. They're written about in the in biblical prophecy as a nation that we have to, that the Lord is going to come back and overtake. It says, for thus hath for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh, I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Their belief was that they was going to rule forever. Their belief is that they was going to exalt themselves. They're not going to wait for the day where the last trump, and they're going to defeat the Lord and his angels when they return. They're prepared in their mind to defeat Yahweh Shah at his coming, to fight and defeat him. That's what they're preparing for as we speak. Space agendas and whatnot. Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. The enemy Esau is going to be brought down low. And so he knows he has a short time. So he's trying to fulfill impossibilities by rerouting or changing biblical prophecy. He's trying to interrupt biblical prophecy. Now, the mystery that was written about for the reward of the saints for their faith and dedication and belief, as we read in Revelations 11 and 18, it says that they should be judged and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets. Part of this mystery is that the Lord, at his coming, at that seventh trump, is going to raise up Israel, take us out of these mortal bodies and put us into immortal bodies, just as he himself was. He's going to conquer death, and the only way to do that is for us to get rid of these bodies. That's the mystery. That's one of the illest mysteries of the scriptures that you're just not going to learn anywhere else unless you're dealing with the Israelites. All right, especially Great Millstone or Apostles, where we learned this from. When you go to 1 Corinthians 15 and 47, it says, in Adam, the first man was made from the dust of the earth, while Yahweh Shah, the anointed, was the second man, came from heaven. Earthly people are like the earthly man, and the heavenly people are like the heavenly man. Just as we are now like the earthly man, we will someday be like the heavenly man. Salaki, I'm reading out of the NLT. Let me hit the KJV real quick. No brothers was probably confused just now. This is verse 46, verse 48 in the KJV. 1 Corinthians 15:48. As is the earthy, such are they that are earthy. As is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly. What we're learning is that there's a earthy body and a heavenly body. All right, a earthy body and a heavenly body. Let's continue, right? It says, as we have borne the image of the earthly, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. So we're going to leave these bodies. What's that got to do with this, the mystery? What's that got to do with the trump? Why is that even a benefit that we got to get rid of these bodies? Well, you got to understand what these bodies is preventing you to do. When you go to 2 Corinthians 4, and also remember, Yahweh Shah left this body, this earthly body. When you go to 2 Corinthians 4, verse 7, Paul said, but we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of Yahweh and not of us. The treasure he's referring to is that he's awakening to the gospel of Yahweh Shah. He's been waking up into the mysteries, the foundation of faith, the understanding of resurrection, the understanding of the crucifixion. He all of this understanding, biblical understanding, has given him light, has caused him to, the light of the gospel, basically, to shine through him. And it's the power of Yahweh within him. But he yet is still in earthen vessels. See, an earthen vessel is not the top vessel there is. It gets better than an earthen vessel, which would be a heavenly vessel. Just like you got a different levels of you can have a vessel made of porcelain, which was a higher quality than something made of clay. So the higher quality is the heavenly vessel that we gonna obtain, that we looking forward to. That the verse 7, that the excellency of the power may be of Yahweh and not of us. So with these mortal bodies and this mortal flesh, right? We can't even boast. It says, we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Yeah, that's because of these bodies. What can you do against your adversaries? Nothing. What can you do if you have an ailment? Can you regenerate yourself? No. All right. If your wife is barren, she can't even have kids. You can't regenerate and fix the womb to do this and whatever you fashion it to do. You don't have that power. Well, that's the power that's going to be given to men. All right. The elect. Persecuted but not forsaken, cast down but not destroyed, always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord Yahweh Shah. So we are always suffering in these bodies because Yahweh Shah, who we follow, suffered in his body. He was crucified, smitten, spat on. Says that the life also of Yahweh Shah might be made manifest in our body. We gotta go through what he went through. All right, we synergize into his life and what he experienced. We become synergized into that. We almost in sync with Yahweh Shah and his sufferings. We in sync as a believers. That's what happens when you begin to believe. You start going through despairs and being perplexed and persecutions because you now in sync with what Yahweh Shah had to go through himself. That's why it says that the life of also of Yahweh Shah might be made manifest in our body. We're in the similitude, or we're in this certain lot similar to what Yahweh Shah has been going through. He said, you got to carry my cross. You're going to drink of the cup also. Right? Did he not have to drink of a cup? He said, we will also. So we in sync. For we which live are always delivered unto death for Yahweh Shah's sake, that the life also of Yahweh Shah might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. This is mortal flesh. Right? We delivered unto death, persecuted, all that. So then death worketh in us, but life in you. We haven't, and this is Paul talking to the believers of Corinth, saying basically how, look, man, we even though we're the teachers, we're molding you, we're servants for Yahweh Shah's sake, but we also being persecuted. It's not like we living it up. It says we have not in this time. He's saying that's a reward. So you gotta understand the reward, because some people come into this truth and you think you're gonna, man, be beamed up out of here. You might come into this truth thinking that you're gonna land that job you always wanted, or for the wrong reasons. You gotta understand the persecution is gonna come first, because you're gonna be in sync with what Yahweh Shah went through. Verse 13. We having the same spirit of faith, according to as it was written, I believed and therefore I have spoken. We believe and therefore we speak, knowing that he which raised up Yahweh Shah, verse 14, knowing that he which raised up the Lord Yahweh Shah, who is the Father, he did that, shall raise us also by Yahweh Shah, and shall present us with you. What is that talking about? Why we gonna get raised up too? Well, that's that mystery. Once again, at the seventh trump, that's that reward that the elect spiritual men are seeking. When you jump down to verse 16, it says, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. You got a spirit and then you got a body. The word body goes back to abode, meaning house. This is just your earthly house. This is earthen vessel. All right, this dies every day. This gets persecuted. It gets mocked. All right, it's this body, it fights against you. Right, the flesh, your mind doesn't even work the way you want it to operate all the time. You can get sick. Right, you can die. These things is not going in a celestial body, doesn't even exist. You can't get even hurt in a celestial body, or you can regenerate. It says yeah, it says, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. But we constantly being edified, we constantly growing. The spirit's going to continue to grow. The more you understand why you here, where you are in society, the more you are sober minded in this word, You getting built up, even though your body don't look like it, right? Verse 17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment. Remember, this what we going through right now is troubling, man. It's hard, all right? But it's light, so it's a small thing. It says it's but for a moment. It's small and it won't last long. Worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So what we about to get, because we going through this small situation, this light affliction, these troubles that we go day by day of this flesh that brings persecution and whatnot, from that we gonna gain something that far outweigh what we going through right now. Something that's much greater and much better than what we going through right now. Right. When you go to Jude, you learn about the body. Basically, this is a body of chains that we in, right? That's all this is, a body of chains. Jude 1 and where we at here? Right, when you go to Jude 1, realization. I'm noticing here, y'all brothers know where that scripture's at off the rip is in Jude. Dealing with your body in chains. I know it's around here somewhere. I'm just not. There you go. Jude 1 and 6, or Jude 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, which is celestial bodies, that's who we are. Angels that didn't keep their first estate. Imagine that. The angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, the celestial world, the celestial bodies. It says, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness. That's these bodies now. We in everlasting chains of darkness. You got to call it what it is. Wow. Wow.